All right, family, let's get into numerology. The one that I use is called biblical numerology. So there's not just one of them, there's a lot of different ones. And this one works for me because to me it's very simple and the concepts are easy to follow. All right, so here we have the number 13. What comes to your mind when you hear 13, right? You hear bad luck, you hear Friday the 13th, you think of demons and devils and just lower level energy, but that can be further from the truth. So let's see how we break down numbers in numerology. So say you see a address that's 16051. Okay? You see that in a movie. 16051. What we're going to do is break down each number and add them together. 1, right? We're going to add that to the 6, which is 7. 0 has no value, so we move on to the 5, which is 12, and then we'll add the 1 at the end, which comes out to the number 13. Okay? So we'll know that in this scene, in this movie, there's going to be some type of redemption, some types of transformation, resurrection, right? Because that's what 13 represents. 13 represents resurrection, redemption, um, rebirth, transformation. And that's why they demonize the number in humanity, because that's the last thing they want humans to do: transform, be reborn, right? Redeem themselves, go from a lower level of consciousness to a higher level of consciousness. That's why 13 is demonized, right? That's why you have 13 colonies in the so called New World of America, the old world being Europe and the new world now being America. That's why you have 12 apostles, and the 13th one was Jesus, the Christ. Christ is not a name, it's a title that one can reach when you reach a certain level of consciousness, right? He died for people's sins. So, dying for a cause greater than yourself is an example of higher consciousness. It's the hero in you being activated, right? That's why you have 12 jurors and the 13th one is the judge deciding if you're going to stay locked up or you're going to free yourself, free your mind, right? That's why you have 13 months in a lunar calendar. Lunar is the unseen or hidden value of man, the spiritual nature, and 13 is the resurrection. And in the Gregorian calendar, you have 12 months, which is really supposed to be 13 because that 13th month is the resurrection, the new year, the celebration. Okay, so look at numbers differently. I suggest getting into biblical numerology because it's so simple and understand why and how numbers are used against us and for us. Oh, and that's why you don't have a 13th floor in these skyscrapers. That's how powerful that number is. They don't want any human beings to resurrect themselves and start a revolution that will overturn the system that means to enslave you. Peace.